Check, check, check. Welcome in, guys. This is Eric at SideQuest Comics, and this is our third episode of 2 Cent Reviews Live. So, just to explain what 2 Cents Live, 2 Cent Review is, it's basically a new thing I came up with to basically get me to read books that I bought yesterday on New Comic Book Day. So overall, what the show is that it's a no fuss, quick, my 2 cents review of a book that I read. Now, it could be a new book that I just picked up on New Comic Book Day, or it could be something that I found in the store in the bins, because I do usually do a little bit of digging on New Comic Book Day. And for the most part, I usually find something. But anyway, that's what basically 2 Cent Review is. Uh, Not too deep into the reviews. It's just my impressions of a book that I read. Now, guys may agree with me or not. I appreciate comments down below if you're catching this late. Or, some of this too is maybe to help you guys decide if maybe you want to read it. Maybe it sounds interesting to you guys. I don't know. I'm not trying to sway you guys. I'm just, like I said, giving you my 2 cents. So this week is a little bit different. So I did do some digging, but I didn't really find anything that caught my eye. So what I'm doing this week, if you didn't see by the thumbnail, is I'm doing 2 new books that I bought yesterday, and I already read 2 new books. Now, this week was a little bit tough for me. It was light. Either because my store didn't get all its shipment in, or they just sold out really fast. So I actually had to shift a little bit because I had one already in mind that I wanted to do. And I shifted a little bit because also I didn't find anything older that I could talk about that I was interested in. So we got 2 new books this week to kind of go over a little bit. And before we do that, though, I want to jump into the comments section real quick and say hello to some people. So K Munin is first today. Welcome in, bud. And then let's see who else we got. We have also my buddy Nate Holyak Comics saying good evening to everybody. I see Michael. Michael's joining us tonight. Hello to everyone. And let's see, did I get everyone? It looks like I got everyone, which is cool. So I got the chat up here on the side, so you guys can see it if you don't want to look at the regular chat. It helps me kind of see if you guys are commenting too. So, but yeah, I also, the whole point of 2 Cent Review is a quick video as opposed to my sometimes 2-hour show that I do at the end of the month. So this was a nice little break for that. So I'm going to run through these really quick. I try not to babble too much. I have a bad habit of that. And I'm going to jump right into our first book that I want to look at tonight. And that is this one, The Last Wolverine. Now, the 3 things I like to look at is story, art, and then overall. And then I will rate these books. I have a 3-grade rating system. But for this one, oops, I made some notes and I lost them already. The Last Wolverine, #1. Now, this is part of a big crossover that Marvel's doing with the X-Men. Now, I'll admit this. I was hesitant on getting this, guys, because they're basically kind of revisiting Age of Apocalypse. They changed it a little bit. It's like X years later. But you know me, I'm a Wolverine guy. I'm a Bubs. I like the Bubs. And I wanted to give it a try. Now, I was hesitant because it's different than Age of Apocalypse. They're not really necessarily doing it. It's more of one of those what if type things. But like it was in the 90s where it was only a couple titles, this is like 16 titles. And I'm just like, no, I can't do that. I'm saying no, and I'm kind of trying to stand the ground. But with the Wolverine, I'm gonna try this one out. And I'm trying out the Laura Kinney X-23 Wolverine one. They're calling it Sabretooth, though, in this world. So anyway, we're going to talk about Last Wolverine, and I'm going to jump right into the story. So this book, they throw you right into the world. And I don't know if it's because I'm not reading any of the other stuff. I didn't know what was going on. I had no clue what the background was, where the characters were. Just because I'm not reading the other 16 gazillion other titles. I just don't care, is what it is. Whereas Wolverine, I do kind of care about because he's one of my favorite characters. Now, this book gave me lots of questions, guys. Like I said, it's X years later. Something happened. Basically, I think there was some kind of gene bomb that happened, killed a lot of people. Changed some mutants, changed humans into mutants, something like that. And then basically there's like this old separate quadrant that's all mutant country type of thing. But I guess there's kind of stirrings of revolution. That's basically the setup of the whole Age of Revelation. But this one, it centers on Wolverine. One of the questions: where is Wolverine? What happened to him? Who is this guy in Wolverine's suit? That's not Wolverine. That is actually Leonard, who was cursed as a Wendigo in the regular Wolverine series. So, like I said, it's some years later. He's taken up the mantle of Wolverine. We don't know where Wolverine is. Let's see what else. I think that pretty much covers the gist of the book. Now, like I said, I thought it was weird because I didn't know what was going on. Show you some of the artwork. Speaking of artwork, let's jump right into the artwork on this one. Now, the art, I love this cover. Okay, that really cool cover. But inside, it was okay. It really wasn't stylistic. It's kind of basic in its layouts. I don't know. It was okay. That's about what I can say. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, if I saw this art, who it was, because it was just kind of like, it seems standard to me. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, but it just nothing really jumps out to me. Some of the things that I didn't like, let me see if I can find, like, this page. I really did not like this page. I don't like his face. I just think it was a little bit off. And in that one picture I showed, it's weird seeing Wendigo in that suit. It's just, I don't know if it just doesn't fit. And like, I think K Munin mentioned earlier, he kind of looks like Beast in a way with his hair like that. So, yeah, the costume just didn't fit. Now, I did say I do spoilers on here. I don't know if I want to give this spoiler because it's a pretty big one. Let me put it this way. It's linked with Alpha Flight. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm jumping right into the full package on this one, guys. Full package is like summary of both art and story. Do they mesh well together? Does one complement the other? Does it clash with the other? That kind of thing. So, I might sound a little critical in this one, and I think some of it has to do is because I'm a Wolverine fan. I want the best for my favorite character. Now, I know he's kind of a vanilla character. I know people say that a lot. He's not too deep, but one of my major thoughts is it just felt a little off. And now I think some of that has to do with that it being very different from what I know, and it's supposed to be. It's a possibility in the future of something that could happen, type of thing. I don't know what they're exactly doing. In the end, they're going to reset stuff, and it's going to go back to status quo. But I mean, the story basically told you enough without giving you all the answers. I do like that about it. And then at the end, like I said, it did have a big cliffhanger that I'm going to say right now, while I was kind of critical in it, there were things that I did kind of enjoy. And with the ending, it made me want to check out the next issue. Now, what's nice is there's only going to be 3 issues, so it's not a huge investment. I can get number 2, try it out again. And if I'm kind of still lukewarm, well, it's only one more issue, right? Now, art really didn't leave much to be desired. I will say that. And I think that was the weak point. So that's kind of the summary of this, I think, story and art. Now, rating, I do a 3 point rating system, pretty simple, high, low, middle type of thing. And I'm going to give this basically meh fun bucks. Now, while I was fine with the setup and the reveal at the end to kind of get me to, get the next issue, I think that it was just okay. It was entertaining. It didn't make me jump out of my seat and be like, "Oh my god," but I still got enough out of it that I kind of want to see where the story goes. I was kind of surprised with that because I was very hesitant on this. I don't like that it's a Wolverine book and he's not really in it. He's on the cover, and I think they feature him in a flashback, but that's it. A lot of the story centers around Leonard, the Wendigo, taking up the mantle of Wolverine and kind of talking about they hint towards what something bad happened type of thing. But I think overall, this is one, and a lot of these, I'm afraid to say, I think you can wait. Yes, you're going to miss the water cooler talk type of thing, but I think you could wait and get it in the bins later at a cheaper cost. Like this was $5. I could have easily paid $3 and been happier because of that. But yeah, I'm going to go right in the middle. It's meh fun bucks. Okay. It was entertaining, but it was nothing to write home about. I could have waited type of thing and would have got it eventually. But that's my 2 cents on the last Wolverine #1. And I am going to take a sip because that was a mouthful and I'm winded already. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, by the way. I see some other people jumping in here. I see Mr. Akins joining us tonight. And don't like your way to win over the crowd. Boy, you guys. Okay, so yeah, it looks like that's it. Okay. Now, let's go to our second book because I didn't get the Wolverine I wanted. We're going to go to something else a little. I think this was the fun one. The Wolverine one was my first read yesterday. This one I actually read today. I think after reading it, I should have picked this one as my first read. But we are looking at Predator, Black, White, and Blood #4. Marvel's doing Predator, Alien. I think they have Planet of the Apes, all the 20th Century Fox sci-fi movies. And this is #4, like I said. This is the last issue in the series. Kind of weird that I'm reviewing this, but it just worked out that way, guys. And they do an Aliens series like this too, or they did. I think this came out last summer. That was, kind of the same boat. So I'm going to jump right into the story of this one. What I love about the Black, White, and Blood series is it's a bunch of short stories. There's stories without worrying about continuity, going from issue to issue. There's very low committing to it because basically 3 short stories that are self-contained. This one's a little bit different though. It does have one that is like a 4-part story. So that's the only exception in this. And I think each chapter of that, the part 1, 2, 3, and 4 were written in a way that I think stories should, especially with comic books, is they give you an ending that is kind of a cliffhanger where it's like, oh, what's going to happen? How is this going to work out type thing? So it makes you want to continue reading the story. I think that's the best way to write a comic book because you want your readers to come back and keep buying the book, right? So that is one of the things I liked about that one story in here. And like I said, all the other stories, it's a couple pages, you're one and done. They just jump into the story and it's a lot of fun. It's usually a lot of fun to read. Now, artwork wise, I think the Black, White, and Blood is a fun concept. So the concept is they just pick these ones. The Predator one's a little bit different because the Predator's blood is green, fluorescent green. So they do work that in there. Generally, Black, White, and Blood is black, white, and red, which you see that predominantly in there. But since it's, the Predator, they got to add that green. So here you see a little bit of green. Now, the other thing I like about the artwork is that, being in this kind of color scheme, it really helps highlight different story elements in it. Like here's a different take on this, a completely different story, but I like the setup. This one's got a lot of black and white in there. And yeah, I think the story elements, it adds to it. What I liked about this issue is that all the stories are 3 distinct stories that are completely different, a little bit of slice of time, and like a little adventure of a predator. And they weren't afraid to show the big guy in these. Like here's a cool picture in one of the stories where you get to see him. And all the stories are completely different. Sometimes they're sci-fi, sometimes they're from the past. Like I think the 4-parters, you're in Australia, in the 1700s. This one's like a bootlegging story. And then the last story I thought was kind of cool because it's basically a boy and his dog. So he befriends one of the left behind hunting hounds, which I thought was cool. And like I said, all the art is completely different. So yeah, I that's the concept I love about that. Now, full package on Predator, Black, White, and Blood. Now the Black, White, and Blood has been done before by Marvel, like Wolverine. I think they did one. Deadpool. I'm trying to think who else they did. And I know even DC did something kind of similar to this, where they did a take on just a simple color scheme. Now, like I mentioned, the Alien one was very similar to this, and I think the short stories keep it from being boring and dull, and they kind of expand the mythos of the Predator, which I think is cool. Now, rating, I'm gonna jump right in the rating. This one, take my 2 cents and make it rain. This one is one of my top ratings, and a lot of it's because I love the short stories. They're simple. You don't have to really question what's going on. It's just a simple, fun story. Artwork, I think, was fabulous. Really cool, artistic, experimentation with the color scheme and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very fun read, and I love the art. And like I mentioned, go check out this series if you haven't. Out of a lot of the Black, White, and Blood, which I've gotten a lot of them and tried them, this one and the Alien one were my favorite, just because I think that color scheme really adds to the stories. But yeah, I mean, these have been coming out for a while. So here's number 1. Here's number 2. You can see the color scheme and the art, and they did a lot of variant covers too for these guys. So, and there's number 3. So, yeah, if you like kind of that concept, I can't highly recommend the Predator one or the Alien one. They're a lot of fun to get and read and just enjoy. So, but guys, just like that, 19 minutes here, and we got my 2 cents on the last Wolverine and Predator, Black, White, and Blood. So like I said, I hope my 2 cents on these 2 books helped you guys kind of make a decision if you weren't reading it. I don't know. Like I said, this is just my opinion on these books, how I enjoyed them and took them in. And that's the whole purpose of the show. It's kind of just to make me read these books. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to jump and look at the chat real quick. And I did not see my buddy here. We got Big Nasty in here. What's going on? Yeah, that's all I have. Nice hat. I think so too. And let's go back to my banners. I forgot to put this one in there. But thanks, guys, for joining me for a 2 cent review live. If you haven't yet, please hit that smash button, like, subscribe, and comment down below. What did you guys think of these 2 books? Did you read them? Are you interested in reading them? Let me know down below. I appreciate that. And also check me out on Instagram, SideQuest Comics and drop me a line at the Gmail right there. I have links to all this stuff in the show notes. But thanks, guys, for joining me tonight. I wish I were remembering my little ticker tape earlier. I knew I forgot something, but it happens in the live. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. In a quick 21-minute show, 2-cent reviews. Until next time, guys, we will see you later, and happy questing out there.